Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jackson.
From Top Notch Sports. Today, we're going to be going over the Jacksonville Jaguars free agency frenzy, what they might do this offseason, specifically in the free agency and this upcoming draft. We're going to evaluate the team, just talk about it. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hop in the conversation in the comment section. But we'll start with Mike. Mike, what do you see when you look at the Jaguars? What areas do you think that are right now need some fixing?
Well, the first thing I see when I look at the Jaguars was a fix they already made by bringing in head coach Urban Meyer. I think that's a phenomenal hire. I even put on Instagram, if you guys follow our Instagram, that I think it's an A hire. Urban Meyer knows football. He's a tough guy. He knows what he's going to do with this team. And when you look at this team, you think the quarterback position immediately. But you think everyone right now believes they're going to handle that in the draft by taking Trevor Lawrence. And then I look at the receivers because I see DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault. If you add one more guy for a rookie quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, that offense can be deadly. I liked what James Robinson did this year. I don't necessarily think they got to go after a running back. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you could buff up a defensive tackle and potentially bring in some secondary. Sidney Jones had a breakout year this season before going down from injury. So I'd like to see them re-sign him. Jaguars have a lot of money. They got $70 million in the cap. If you watched our salary video, you would know their complete salary situation and what we predicted. I would like to see a guy like Allen Robinson come back to this team. Come back, give Trevor Lawrence a solid option to throw the ball to. I'd love to see something like that happen.
Absolutely. Jackson, what do you see potentially? And then we'll break into segments here. Go ahead.
No, I couldn't have said any better. They're definitely going to attack the quarterback position in the draft, probably picking up Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick. I want to focus more towards the secondary. Like you said, Sidney Jones had a breakout season before heading on IR. But a guy I'd like to see him bring in at free safety would probably be Marcus Williams from New Orleans. Kid's been a stud there ever since he got drafted. Be a great signing for them. New Orleans will not be able to bring him back because they're not in a good situation in the cap. Urban Meyer was a great head coach hiring. Again, I expect this team to win games with head coach Urban Meyer. I mean, they got $70 million to spend this offseason, maybe a little more. So they definitely can bring in some big-name guys. Allen Robinson coming back to Jacksonville would be it would be a great signing for this team. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, you said it even better, Mike, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Absolutely. And again, I think we can already almost fill in Trevor Lawrence at one for this team. Again, go back, watch our salary review video. We'll go over all the little details of what we think you guys might do this offseason. But now let's look at strictly free agency. Who are some targets? Throw out some names. Mike, we'll start with you. Who do you think? I know Jackson said Marcus Williams. You said maybe Allen Robinson. Is there anybody else that you might want to potentially look into here? Like one guy I'll throw out there right now, maybe tight end Jonnu Smith, right? There were just rumors moments ago saying Tyler Eifert is not going to go back to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We also said that maybe someone like Jonnu Smith that's not going back to Tennessee because they don't have the money could go to a team like the Jaguars, finally lock up a big tight end for Trevor Lawrence and add another weapon to the arsenal. So go ahead. Who do you think? Any other names that you can think of?
At this point, I don't think you can rule anything out with the money and future this team has. I think you guys can look at a guy like Kawan Short, defensive tackle. They need to buff up that defensive line. Von Miller is probably a lot of other spots he'd rather not Von Miller. I'm sorry. J.J. Watt. There's probably a lot of other spots he'd rather land than Jacksonville. But if you look at Jacksonville's future, if he wants to sign a multi-year deal, it might not be off the table. There's a lot of positions they can go on the defensive line. A lot of free agents out there.
Absolutely. One thing I want to mention is they do got almost $80 million in cap space. Like Jackson said before, it's about 80 right now is estimated. Again, nothing's official, but they got $80 million. They could bring in someone like that. I don't think that JJ would want to go there just because he's probably chasing a ring, but get that guy, get that one guy that's going to be coming off the edge. They can make a lot of moves this offseason. Another guy that I want to mention is potentially cornerback Desmond King. We also said that in our salary video too. Another cornerback, you bring back maybe Sidney Jones, like we said, alongside C.J. Henderson, their first-round pick from last season, and you add someone like Desmond King in there, just add competition, add players to go into that system and compete for a job. And I think that this defense, I mean, you got Josh Allen, you got C.J. Henderson, you got Sidney Jones, you got Desmond King. Maybe you bring in a Marcus Williams. I mean, who else do you want? That is a pretty dang good defense. And the offense, you add Trevor Lawrence, you got James Robinson, you bring in someone like Janu Smith, you got DJ Chark. Maybe you bring in an Allen Robinson. Maybe. I mean, imagine if they can do something like that. There's a lot of free agencies out there for receivers too. So they got a lot to choose from. Jackson, do you have anything that you were going to say?
I mean, you get Trevor Lawrence, all these weapons that he's going to have, like Jonnu Smith, Allen Robinson potentially, DJ Chark, who's already a stud. I mean, this kid's going to go out there and have a hell of a season. If you ask me, I mean, and this team's offense looks good. They have a pretty solid offensive line already. And then you go over to the defensive side of the ball. How did they win in 2017, Nick? They had an elite defense, right? They want to bring that back into Jacksonville. So the names we said, like Marcus Williams, Desmond King, Quan Short, like you said, to booster up that defensive line. I mean, this team looks pretty damn complete to me. So I don't see why this team couldn't maybe contend in their division.
I want to mention a few big name receivers that we haven't mentioned. So I already said Allen Robinson, and some of you are going to like that. Some of you are not going to like that. But here's another guy that might be out there depending on what the Buccaneers choose to do. That's Chris Godwin. You got Chris Godwin. I mean, out of these guys, you got Godwin. I don't know if Robinson will go back. I know there were some rumors, reports, maybe not. Corey Davis is an option. Kenny Golladay might be an option. How about someone like Will Fuller? I mean, there's so many people. So what I want you fans to do, the people that are watching, I want you to comment below what receiver you would like to go on your team next year. There's a lot of options. Again, we're not going to sit here and be able to choose which one we think, but go and watch our salary review video. We got a bunch there. I'll link that in the comment section below. Mike, who would you use as a wide receiver? Who would you bring in if you have a chance to do it? Who would you take?
If he's willing, and the rumors has that Allen Robinson has not said no to anything. Nothing's off the table. I'd go Allen Robinson. He's a guy that spent 4 years in Jacksonville. He's a guy that knows the organization, knows the city. The fans would absolutely love to have him reunite and have Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback with these weapons, DJ Chark, Allen Robinson, Laviska Shenault, and if they bring in Jonnu Smith, it would be amazing. But they got to address the offensive line too. I'd like to see him bring Cam Robinson back. But if I'm going to pick a receiver for this current roster, I like Allen Robinson. Just a talented receiver, catches almost everything thrown his way. You can't have a better target for a rookie quarterback than a guy like Allen Robinson.
Absolutely. I honestly think that Allen Robinson's a top 5 wide receiver talent-wise in the NFL. And you go back to see his history. I mean, that's what I can't stand these other receivers. They go out, oh, I never had a quarterback. One man that's been quiet that never had a quarterback is Allen Robinson. And this guy, I think, can be special if you add him with Trevor Lawrence and you got Urban Meyer in there. Remember, this defense, like Jackson said earlier, they were this close to winning a Super Bowl themselves. And I know everything has been thrown out the window since. And Jaguars fans, you guys are probably upset about that. But you got a hell of a coach in Urban Meyer. And we'll do our coaching grades later down the line. But you got Urban Meyer. You got most likely, I mean, unless something insane happens, you got Trevor Lawrence. You get a chance to bring in a top-tier wide receiver to work with Lawrence. You still got DJ Chark. Mike mentioned Laviska Shenault. You got James Robinson as a running back. You got to bolster up that offensive line, whether it's via draft or the free agency. You got the money to do that. Mike said maybe bring back Cam Robinson. That could be an option. That's something that's realistic. That could very well happen. You got Jonnu Smith as your tight end. I think this team's great. And your defense is getting there too. You bring in someone like Marcus Williams. Look at what Honey Badger did to that Chiefs defense a few years ago. A good cover safety can change a defense like that, bring in some veteran leadership. Even though Marcus Williams is young, you guys a stud. C.J. Henderson. You bring in someone like Desmond King, Sidney Jones, Josh Allen. Like, I didn't go on and on. I really think that this Jaguars team can be good. What, Mike?
Clavon Chason should continue to improve.
Oh, absolutely.
Allen can get to the quarterback. Miles Jack is a top coverage linebacker in football. This defense has a lot of pieces to be excited about. C.J. Henderson is going to do nothing but get better. He should do nothing but get better. So, I mean, this team does seriously have a bright future if they make the right decision and draft this guy, Trevor Lawrence. That's what they got to do first. They got to draft Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely. I think they could have won more games this year. Like you said a while back when we were just talking, it's not on video, I don't think anywhere, but we were talking and you said they lost a lot of pretty dang close games this year. And if you add someone like Trevor Lawrence, and that we were just saying just Trevor Lawrence, they can win some of those games. But you had Trevor Lawrence, you had a receiver, you had a tight end, you had some offensive lineman, a cornerback, maybe a free safety. what else can with Urban Meyer? Yeah.
This team could be a dangerous team in the NFL within the next 2 to 3 years if they do things correctly. And I think they will, because they got a good, smart guy in Urban Meyer running this program. He has been smart his whole career in the college game, and hopefully that comes to the NFL. We don't know. You never know with a college coach. But from what I saw from Urban Meyer coaching college football, I'm not nervous about him at all coming to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, I'm not really either. And again, one thing you got to look at when you look at the Jaguars team is that he's not coming to a team that has nothing. He's not going to a team like Houston. He's going to a team that's pretty dang established. I know that you guys have the first overall pick, but your team wasn't ready to win yet. You don't have a quarterback. You bring in Trevor Lawrence, you bring in Urban Meyer. I think that you guys can very well easily finish, maybe even potentially. I mean, I think that they can definitely compete in this division. I'm not going to go say something crazy, but I think that they can absolutely compete with the Titans. I think they can compete with the Colts. And those are two tough teams. Those are two very tough teams. The Texans are tough too with Watson. I don't know what they're going to do. If they trade Watson, they might get some great draft capital back, and they might be competitive in a few years from now if they are able to get draft capital back. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, this team is set for the future, and I'm excited. There's one team that I'm circling this year that I want to watch many games of. It's Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. Guys, I think that's all from us. There's really not much more to talk about. I mean, division real fast. If I had to project their spot in the division, I'm saying they finished third. Mike, you want to give a fast division prediction here?
Right now, you got to go third, and it's not because of it's because we're looking at them right now at their current state. After the offseason, you never know, things could change. You might have a different projection, but right now, you got the Houston Texans are a dumpster fire. We have no idea what's going to go on with them. Right now, I would say this team finishes third in the division, especially with the Deshaun Watson out of the division.
Jackson, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you, Mike. Definitely third place for right now. But if they make these signings that we or these names that we just threw out there, I could definitely see them on the rise.
Absolutely. And again, I want to make sure I really note this down to all of you fans. We're going to be doing division rankings way down the line, so you're going to have to stay tuned with us. It's months away. But here's what I'm going to do for all of you guys. That's all on this video. Don't leave just yet. We got our scouting analysis coming up after this series is over with all 32 teams. Then we got our mock drafts. After our mock drafts, we get the live draft show. After the live draft show, we got our draft grades. After the draft grades, we got our coaching grades. After our coaching grades, we're going to rank where we think that these teams are going to finish in their divisions, and then we'll go back to debating again. So, guys, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We got a lot more coming from Top Notch Sports, but that's all from us. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and not only that, I want you guys to go and watch your Jacksonville Jaguars salary review video that was done 32 days ago, 33 days ago, something like that, where we covered what we think that are realistic expectations for the Jaguars team. Today, we just spit out a bunch of guys. Maybe you get some, maybe you don't. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who do you guys want? And believe me, we'll get back to you right away as soon as you make that comment. We'll see you guys soon. We are
Built Better.
See you guys soon. Peace.